Chapter 16 Kaira Acharya. I did not wake up before next morning when I realized I had even skipped dinner the previous night. I felt fresh with a rested sleep but famished. I indulged myself into a steaming hot cup of tea and breakfast with newspaper, relaxing my body and mind alike, getting myself into a blank, no thoughts zone. I reached work in a positive frame of mind. It was enormous what rest and food could do to one's efficiency, I pondered. I sunk myself into the day, grafting my way through. I was sitting in my ward later that afternoon. Rounds and tasks were nearly done. I was completing the registers and records then. There was loads to be done before I could think of taking a break. I realized I was hungry and speeded up the writing work. My desk was placed at an angle between two sections of the ward to enable easy view of both the sides simultaneously. Two empty stools lay opposite to me. There was the usual hustle and bustle of the ward around me, with the nursing staff, patients, as well as attendants moving in and out. My fellow houseman Rahul was halfway through his dressings. I went on scribbling, oblivious of my surroundings. At that moment, a voice hit my ears. "Can I please sit down, sir?" I sensed someone standing at my desk. I also caught a whiff of pleasant floral fragrance. Without any conscious thought, I replied, "Yes, please," and went on with my job. Someone had sat on the stool opposite me, but nothing was said. I thought it must be some patient's attendant wanting to know about their ward status. "How may I help you?" Saying this and turning to my next page in that voluminous register, I looked up. My heart stopped completely. I forgot even to breathe. It was her. It definitely was. The same eyes, the same mark. There was not an ounce of doubt. And I was done for. She just sat there unspeaking, elbows on the desk and head bent a little. I had to compose myself. Now. Summoning all my sensibilities, I asked again, "Yes, Missy, what can I do for you?" While inwardly I was in the midst of a thunderstorm, having to look at her in such close quarters. She gestured with her hand for me to wait. I realized she was breathing heavily. I waited. She was looking down at the desktop. I grabbed those moments to savor her presence to my heart's content. There was no OT cap nor mask to bar my view today. She had a long, shapely nose, pointed chin, protruding mandibles, highlighting her slender neck. Her hair was tied in some intricate style very perfectly that I later researched and found to be known as the French plaits. Her pale skin looked like marble. I am not a poet and can't be expected to use poetically correct similes. She suddenly looked up. I felt like a thief caught in the act. Before I could stutter and give myself away, she spoke. "Sir, I am asthmatic. Climbing up the 4th floor, I got dyspneic. Sorry to have kept you waiting." She rummaged through her handbag and took out a small piece of folded paper. Handing it to me, she said, "Piyush sir might have told you, sir. This is the list of PG residents from outside Raipur that live in your building. Hopefully, you'll be able to contact and convince them." I took it from her, trying very hard to keep my hands steady, and said, "I'll try." I kept a long face and steady, unhurried gaze at her. She went on, Uh, one more, a little personal request, sir." I was gaining a little composure now. "And that is?" I asked. She said pleadingly, "Kindly take care of the proxy of our batchmates posted here, sir. They are liable to be absent frequently owing to the election campaign." I was sane by now. I replied, looking into my register page. "I certainly would be happy to do that, had I known who you and your batchmates are, don't you agree?" I smiled, surprised at my own dare. Oh, extremely sorry, sir. She was unsettled for a moment. I am Kaira Acharya of the internship batch. I was stumped. God only knows how I got the strength to endure the volley of shocks I was getting that day. As a safety precaution, I wasn't looking at her. My pen was scratching the paper on its own accord. I wasn't in the slightest know what were the words forming. My heart and head were working overtime. After contemplating for no more than a few seconds, I said, "And why would I do as you bid, Missy?" I dared even smile, but still did not look up lest my confidence smashed to pieces. Kaira Acharya had no instant answer. I imagined what Abhigyan's expressions would be like had he been a witness to this moment then. His invincible, sure as a gun about herself, the Kaira Acharya, hunting for words? I went on with my scribbling, giving her time to think and answer. Here she was, asking me for a favor. I had to make good use of this God-sent opportunity. This may be the only one for me. She finally said, she fumbled. I was told that you were in our camp, sir. Oh, that is true for sure. I regard Vivek sir very much. I answered and looked up. She looked puzzled. I continued, what I say is not related to that at all. She couldn't resist asking, then? I was taking my time all right. You're asking me a favor and expecting me to do as you say, right? She nodded in agreement. Don't you think it's justified to return it to make it easier for me to work in your accordance? I played my card. She hadn't expected any of this. She was confused and uncomfortable. As for me, I was quite enjoying her plight. She said finally, And how would that be, sir? She realized pretty well no one would mess with the Kaira Acharya, and I was just a houseman, very junior to her cousin and his best friend, my senior RSO. Her tone dared me to say something that would act against me in a destructive way. I am smarter than that, Miss Kaira, I said to myself. A coffee treat would be just perfect for now, if you're okay with it, I said, still scratching gibberish in the register. She relaxed a bit. I looked up, now penetrating deep into her beautiful eyes that had haunted me for so long now. The gazes locked for a split second and I knew I had won. She looked down and said, Fair enough, sir. She even tried to smile, but I knew she wasn't happy being shaken in a way she wasn't used to. The always in control Miss Kaira had been disarmed and it wasn't to her liking. I, on the contrary, was enjoying my triumph. I put her at ease without delay. I'll join you in the coffee house in exactly 20 minutes from now. Thanks, I stated with finality. She got up in a while and left, mumbling a bye.